boom, powder.
Tom Brody.
Love it.
Wolf. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hood, yeah, baby, you're the hood.
Screaming, cheers to the real. Good vibes only. Putting in work and recipes to all the homies.
Yes, sir. What's going down? It is the one and only Mr. Tom Brody, and this is the Cheers to the Real podcast. Peace to my people. Thank you for tuning in. Got a real special guest today. Want him to introduce himself to the people. We got a legend in the building, man. Introduce yourself, brother.
Jedi. She's the legend that you know what I'm saying, right there.
There we go.
My name is Mike Swift. They call me Mr. Pinoy Hoops. Some might notice me as Mike Watawat, Mike Sweezy Golden Child. You know what I'm saying? Depends where you and when you met me. That's my name.
Fact. So let's, there's going to be people, obviously, that's going to tune in. Maybe don't recognize the brand, don't recognize the name.
Yeah.
So we're going to have, because obviously I go back with the brother a real long time, but he has a real, definitely a unique story. And you're going to get a little insight, little education, come out with a little appreciation for the labor of love. So give people a little bio, a little breakdown on the history.
Born in Lipa City, Batangas, Philippines. Emigrated to Brooklyn, New York, at second grade. Fell in love with the culture of New York City, whatever arts, entertainment, music, sports may be. Took that influence with me growing up, being passionate about basketball. And I went as an alumni of Lincoln High School, where Stephon Marbury and a lot of basketball greats, Lance Stevenson, Sebastian Telfair, Isaiah Whitehead. I'm sure it's going to go down the line.
Right.
So I come from a school of like deep basketball roots and culture.
And some may not know, Lincoln High School, if people outside the state, they'll listen, but real hoopers know Lincoln is one of those powerhouses that they get, you know, they're nationally ranked, so they, you know, they're
For
recognized.
a long time.
Yeah.
And right across that, you just cross Ocean Parkway, there's Grady High School, which is in Brighton Beach, which is a rival of Lincoln High School.
Right.
I mean, like, if they would battle.
Right.
If they would play against each other, Jay-Z would pop up, Spike Lee would pop up, and I live one block away from there, and that's where I played a lot of basketball at that park particularly. But continuing on to summarizing the journey, I was, you know, I grew up here in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn. Sure. This is getting me too hype, and I'm trying to calm it down. And it's like, I'm ready to explode.
Oh, so again, I got a lot of listeners. They'll listen in, and they'll wonder. They'll say, Brody, everyone that comes up is definitely expressing, you know, their artistry, their labor of love. And again, I got Mike coming down because he's one of those artists who's not only rooted in the 90s, but his story is super unique because he's definitely articulating a way that as underground artists, we could find a niche. And your story is great because you got that niche, brother. You got that niche.
Well, that's what they say. I mean, I feel like I'm trying to stitch that niche.
Absolutely.
Bitch.
Absolutely.
And I had to
Absolutely.
just throw that,
Absolutely.
it's a rhyme.
Absolutely.
Jedi?
So we're at that point, you know, with Brighton, Coney Island, South Brooklyn, right? So let's put it all together.
And you know, there's unlimited stories just by saying those things. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So Brighton Beach, and then after Lincoln High School, I spent a little bit of time in Kingsborough Community College.
Shout out,
You know what I'm saying?
KCC.
So, but I was a bad student. So making it to Kingsborough Community College was a lot of Saturday schools, summer schools, night schools.
College not for everybody, brother.
So making it there was like already a surprising thing. I was just really scraping way up to there to please parents.
What'd you
I
go
guess,
for?
You know what I mean? Physical therapist.
Ah.
You know, as a Filipino, it's either be a nurse or physical therapist. That's where the money's at. You know what I'm saying? So the parents
But
is
the
like,
money,
So the
money's
parents
there,
was
though,
like
with
there,
that.
so I went as liberal arts, but I just ended up just selling weed at the cafeteria. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I did in Kingsborough. But I learned, and then one particular class taught me, and I think this is
Great
important
campus, by the
since
way.
we have a long time to tell the stories, right? That I don't have to rush it too much, right? So anyway, in Kingsborough Community College, there's like I never took school really, seriously,
Mm-hmm.
but I made it that far, and and there I learned that I learned about like putting compositions together, like writing an essay. It's like the first time I had the ability to put something, and the teacher gave me props for it, and her giving me props kind of like, oh shit,
Got you.
I want to do this more then. And
You honed
this
in.
teacher
You
cared
honed
about
in.
my writing and shit. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So I
right.
kind of, that part became part of my travel to opening up my own barbershop, starting my own record label with Yesh and Porcho, Head Bop Music.
Which is a big see. You're name dropping a lot of accomplishments. Again, for even the average Joe Schmo who is born in this country that's not taking advantage of the opportunities in front of him, one would say you mentioned three key pivotal things that as a man someone would say, wow, kudos to you. Barbershop, X, Y, and Z.
Blazing Cuts Barbershop, you know what I'm saying? I had that. I had the Head Bop, which was a record label that was legit, where we put out wax, and he could testify to that.
What
because
year
we put out
what
one
year
of
we
his
talking
records.
about this?
1998 was the time we founded it with Yeshua and Porcho. So that's a Puerto Rican, a Colombian, and a Filipino.
That's right.
But
That's
you know,
right.
Yeshua was the guy.
Salute to
yeah.
the brothers.
Salute to them. But Yeshua the Poe D already had records that came out of Fondulum Records,
Right.
which was a powerful independent record label then and especially now with the catalog they had. So he's part of
100%.
that. So whatever he learned from that, I said, I just wanted to escape the norm of gotta go to school, gotta get the diploma. Back then I'm trying to get away from that. How do I get away from that without beefing at home?
Talking
You know what I'm saying?
9-8, huh?
Yeah.
9-7, 9-8.
So how do I do that without beefing at home? So I was like, you know what? I gotta find something. And then I remember calling Porcho and Yesh out to have their part of the money to incorporate our record label first, right? To do it legit. And say, yo, y'all better have it by Saturday because I'm going to have mine on Saturday. So they got their money together, and I'm the one who's hyped to get everybody's money together, and I don't even got not $1 yet.
And listen,
You know what I'm
it's neat.
saying? I'm like, oh, shit.
We have to respect the timeline that he's talking about also. We're not talking about digital, you can sit in your basement. This is an era of you had to go grind, hit the pavement.
And this is vinyl.
There we go. Talk
Vinyl.
that.
You get them incorporated in the 90s.
You know,
to
like
get incorporated 90s as a young buck at that age, you know what I'm saying? So that was dope.
Fact.
But I was already thinking, my mindset of like, yo, how do I do this? Because,
entrepreneurship, man.
Because we're the biggest fans of bragging rights, and I carried. Basically, I was soaked in hip hop all over the place because my boy Mambo, shouts to DJ Mambo, DJ Bless.
Salute,
they get
salute.
the chest press releases of vinyls all the time. They got the ends. So we get the records before anyone gets the records. You know what I'm saying? So
No
we
doubt.
up on shit on South Brooklyn, and then linking up with these guys in AL, and then we got even deeper into it because they put us onto Eminem's EP. And many years later, he blew the fuck up, and we were already big giant fans. You know what I'm saying? So we were already always up on shit before everyone else.
Yeah.
Aunt Marshall, who ran Lyricist Lounge, also grew up in Brighton Beach. So we had ends to a lot of underground
yeah,
shit.
Isaac.
You know what I'm
Lived
saying?
in Brighton,
Isaac
too.
from
Yeah.
he did Bragging Rights with Fritz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to Isaac, no
Shout
doubt.
out to them, and they did it in New Eurekan. So that's my background, right? So I go there, got my label, blah, blah, blah. And then from doing that label, we did a tour, and we called this the What You Need Tour. And in this tour, we did the whole America to Midwest to Toronto, and we did it for almost 2 months. That was 2001. It's the What You Need tour, and we did it with our own money. And I was like, that
Love
only
it.
the record label owner. I was the driver. That was my main job. Watch, I'm always, I'm the main driver, and I'm talking about this is not regular driving. This is like right after a show, you gotta pack your shit right away because you have 21 hours from Minnesota to Texas. like that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's in YouTube. So if I'm gonna
course.
say here, y'all could go backtrack and
course.
check everything. I want to see it. I wouldn't say it if there's no footage.
Yeah,
That's my thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My shit is a fact, camera gangster fact. You know what I mean? So, so then I did that. I hopped over and from that tour, I learned that there's money in the music industry because here we are, a bunch of nobodies in the game doing this and coming home with a little something, not a lot. But it wasn't the money thing because you knew it's like, how far can you really take this kind of money?
Yeah, because I always remember at that time when me and Jedi was shopping, going around with Kenny, walking into like Jelly Bean Records. They were already grinding out.
Cutting records.
Yeah.
Oh, in the process of getting that vinyl,
Jelly
meaning like
bean.
gotta go to Connecticut, rent a van, fill up the whole van because vinyl is heavy. So if you want, like, I
They were
forget how
already
many
doing
thousands.
independent touring.
And then
So you guys
right.
already cracked the code what the average rapper is doing currently.
You could say that.
Because
you could say that.
currently that's the norm.
But
You
I
should
think
be
people have
booking
been
your own
doing this.
shoes.
But I think people have just been doing this anyway since way
more
before
local.
even rap.
It was more local.
It's just people will find a way to perform in places where they can find audiences that would embrace them.
Absolutely.
So it's just that concept, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So where was I again? Sometimes I would trip and we get lost in the story.
No, it's
storyline.
fine. We could just drift off and
Okay,
keep it
bet.
going.
So
You know what I mean?
I go back to that part with deep hip hop, battle rap, you know what I'm saying, battle rap roots,
It's amazing how
basketball.
all the underground is connected too.
Yeah, basketball
mentioned,
roots,
yeah.
that's intact. Experiences, Brooklyn experience. I ended up living in Marlboro Projects where you live.
Mm-hmm.
So I lived there for 6 years and more because I had a girl there that lived there and I was with her for 5 years. So,
yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
when we
And
started
that
linking a
coming-
little bit more, getting them bottles. Like, yo, I'll
Right,
meet you at the
so-
beach.
So yes, so beach parties, we can skip
Yeah.
all of that. Blah blah blah. I go to Marlboro, then I'm on my street shit, saving my money from grinding in the streets,
Right.
and at the same time working in Scores, the strip club, where the owner of that was my friend, and he made me like a runner at the office in the daytime, which
Word?
means I get all the precious privileges at night because I'm right next to the boss and I work for the office. When they need their checks, they gotta come get at me.
Like
So
a gigolo, son.
hey, almost as near as that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, it had its privileges
Hustle.
being up there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean,
Hustle.
AL was my visitor there one time. He could just tell you the story, probably just chilling with me there
The
for a night.
hustle
You know
is
what I mean?
real.
So I got to meet like Bubba Sparks or you made the beat from so fresh and so clean. Yo, throw a stripper over there real quick like that. You know what I'm saying? I had access to a lot of cool stuff. It made me look important. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, I had that background for many years because I could tell so many stories in there. That's like Mo Vaughn. When he left the Mets, he just was in Scores every night. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how addicting that place is. Like, I'm not going back to the
Spending that
I'm not
money.
gonna go back to the sports. I made my money, got injured. I'm gonna keep all this money. I'm kind of gonna invest in it.
I feel like that scene is done in New York. We was just talking behind camera. We was saying that old New York club vibe.
Yeah.
Where you go and you popping bottles and you feel like it's
And take it out. This one is even. I like to tell this story because it became a movie, and I just saw Wolf over here. So
Alright.
the Wall Street thing.
oh yeah, Wolf and Wall Street.
Yo, I went through that as a youngin' where, cause like I said, these guys from the hood, they're into all those their white collar schemes or whatnot, and I'm
I
just a
did
young
something
kid,
similar,
need
son.
summer.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just needed a job for the summer so I could have fly gear, and I ain't gotta be.
They had me doing cold calls.
Yeah,
had
they give you
book.
a book. They give you a pitch. They give you game.
Bro.
But I learned a lot of game from the rebuttal
It
sheets,
actually
man.
reminded me of the boiler room. You ever seen the boiler
Yes,
room?
exactly.
The boiler room.
Same thing, same
Yo.
job. And Kings Highway. I could talk about this now because that shit is like
What a
unknown.
grind. I mean, like
Right?
1,000 phone calls in a day.
Yeah, because you're getting paid for the phone calls no matter what happens. Because you can just be there. I need money for the summer. Damn.
I used
And then
to
once
rock
you
that
when
shit.
you hook somebody,
I'm
you
no
can't-
piker, sir.
No. Trying to get me a whale over here. Only cats know. I know you don't know me from a hole in the wall, but if you just dip your toe in the pool before you dive in, you know what I'm saying? Here's a little. So you learn game reading these things they give you.
That's
and I'm like, and when you can't
hilarious.
finish it because you suck at it because you don't know nothing about it, and they give you sheets to read.
That's right.
You pass it to somebody who's great at it. They'll imitate my voice like
Close.
They'll close it and then they'll
Yeah.
break bread with you.
Senior broker.
Yeah. So
He knows.
so
He
basically,
knows.
the root of the dude owning scores came from even partial of doing that. So that fast forward, I go learn everything I learned from being a Brooklyn character.
Mm-hmm.
Take this shit and say, you know what, I love y'all. We Be Foolish. I love Kenny. I love Yesh. I love Bless. I love EXO. I love what you're doing. But y'all energy, for me, it's a band. It's hard to run a band, right? And we're learning to be record label owners. We're going to have
Right.
a lot of assumptions and a lot of mistakes and a lot of this.
Also, no one's role model. No one's giving.
No one. We were being actually rejected. There's no one leading for us. It was more rejections that's letting us find other
Right.
ways. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
But all good, because that's the type of characters we were. We was like trying to figure it out. Because every time, let's say Company Flow, let's say LP made a deal in Caroline Distributions right now, he was hitting right on the mark. And then when he hit, we like, whoop, we're like an inch short from grabbing it. Like,
Yeah, but
we was next in line. We always like, you know what I'm saying? I almost got, you know what I mean? Like, we were the almost people all the time.
Explain. So good example for people that are listening, and you say all this. Explain to an artist how defeating that could be, or how motivating that could be as an artist. You know what I mean? Especially a young artist. You may submit it and you think it's A1.
Yes, yes.
And people looking at you like, that's not it.
Yes.
That's not the crack on the block.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And I'm glad you say that, because roundabout to the tour, that's what I learned from the tour. Some of the folks that was in the tour with us, it defeated them. Their energy was down about it, where me, I saw so much excitement about it, because I couldn't believe I got to travel all those places on the strength of music. And I can't believe that I'm secretly a rapper. I'm a rapper. Like, oh shit, I want to do what they doing on stage, man. But I'm scared. I suck.
The funny
you know what
thing
I mean?
is, and I want
these guys are professionals.
And I want people to understand this. The funny thing is you could pick up this hobby. I mean, look, Mike is proving it. Mike is like, you know what? I cracked the code. Yup, what? I moved this around. Boom, blast off with it. Because there were people who have probably been doing it longer than yourself and have not been able to crack the code. They're stuck in a niche where they're not growing as an artist, and they're stuck in a niche.
Oh, maybe.
And here it is. The industry is moving on.
Yeah.
And some people aren't growing, right?
Maybe, yes, maybe. I don't know. I believe everybody grows. It's just they don't express it.
Right. Okay.
So, or it's expressed in different ways. So, I don't know, that's pretty subjective, I guess, of a topic. But somehow, some way, all that wiggling got me to learn how to. I watch everybody's skill set, and I took everybody. This was what I was trying to say when I get on the mic and introduce everybody in that way, because I really meant everything I said from hosting yesterday and how I introed AL skills and y'all, because y'all was that when you're saying role models, those were my role models, these guys, because I was watching them cypher and I would be so envious of their courage and their skills, and I'm like, and you can't just jump in there and rush it. Like, I ain't gonna go in there and I don't know how to
Think
rhyme.
about it.
But
Think about that time when he was like that. Yeah.
No, but it's wild because as moving back in that time era where we were going 9 to 5 freestyle all day, there was times where you would play around on the low regardless. You would jump, you know what I mean? Jump in and out and play around with it.
Yeah, and this is what I was gonna. And this is what I was trying to tell you, that even during those times, during the tour times, we recorded a lot, but it's like I wouldn't even say the B team. It's just the fanboys are recording. You know what I mean? Because of the group, like, but Bless, me, Jay Han, DJ Bless. All the We Be
Shout out to
Foolish,
Jay Han, no doubt.
all the We Be Foolish family, they all rhyme, but not all of them took it seriously or took it seriously. They were doing it for fun, and that's what we were doing, and that's where I come from. I always loved doing it, but it didn't mean I was good.
Amen.
But since Jayhan bought a microphone and went to Grady Park and let us hear a song. and I was playing ball, and he was like, "Yo, check this out," and I was like, "Y'all recorded that?" Right? Let's say they just finished coming from DJ Bless Script, which is the producer of We Be Foolish. I was like, "Y'all recorded that?" 93. Okay, he bought the microphone, so y'all recorded that. And he was like, yeah. And from then on, from the first song that they did, I was part of the second song, third song, fourth song, fifth song. I'm trying not to miss none of the things that was coming.
History.
Yeah, and I think Yesh got those stupid ass demo tapes on cassette, right? You know what I mean?
You know he does. You know he
so
does.
it's so, and that was my process. And then I didn't show my friends that I was trying to get better. It's like this. Put it this way. Even on some bagging girls kind of tip as a youngin', I had to step out the cipher to learn myself how to get it. I can't be stuck here. Y'all talking shit. Y'all lying. You ain't really kissed
you know
three
what
girls
happens with this?
in the club that night. Like, you ain't really bad. Y'all all giving me that pressure that I need to bag girls too.
You
Let me
could
go
be
learn it this way.
influenced by other
You know what I
people
mean?
when you don't know yourself.
So in rhyming, it's the same.
Yeah,
Like Yash
yeah.
and them was the professionals, and We Be Foolish and them was the professionals, and all these guys were so great that me and Jahan were the ones who were starting together. So when the professionals and the cypher and New Eureka be here, me and Jahan be right here with the beginners. Yo.
No doubt.
And then go back to Brian and say, yo, we fucking did it, yo. We fucking jumped in the cypher for the fucking first time.
and
That's how big
you're
it was. It's
proving-
like a record label deal.
Listeners,
You know
you gotta understand. It starts with the labor of love. It starts with being a fan. That's where it starts.
still the biggest fan.
He's proving it right
You know what I
now
mean?
by
Don't
everything
start.
he's
It's-
saying.
you got-
It really starts by loving the culture, being a fan, and absorbing it. Because once you start doing that, it all move forward. You know what I mean? So let's push it back a little bit, and let me ask you. So growing up, South Brooklyn, absorbing the culture, any backlash for doing black culture?
For me, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
'Cause-
That will always continue.
Yeah.
I think. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I think that it might be a more 90s thing. Or
but
even,
more like on people who don't understand. It's like more on people who are new to it, or more on people who want to see the negative out of successful things.
the
Like,
younger
you know,
generation is more open to
I
people
think so.
outside
I don't
of
know.
that
I don't put
culture.
no age on that either.
Right, I hear you.
But I think it's just you will get that. Like, nobody will give a fuck until you matter. Nobody will question anything, I think, too much. If, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Because the
if
perspective,
you
as an
blow up,
outsider, the perspective
like,
would
say
say,
you blow up and you're the biggest rapper, Hispanic rapper
Right.
ever in the grades, like bigger than Eminem status.
Right.
And you become that. I'm sure you're gonna get questioned like, yo, it's not.
1
you know
million
what I mean?
%.
So
1
you
million
just gotta
%.
know that you're true to your.
But I would
liking,
think
your
most
roots.
purists or most people that really listen and love the culture knows who is left and who's really like doing this and has skills.
I don't know.
You don't think? Or you think some people just flat out racist and say if you're not this, you shouldn't be doing it? Because I'm
Some
sure there
people
are
is
people
limited
like
to
that.
thinking, yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's
it's a
just
fact.
So for me, it's like, you negate the.
You ever have that moment where you shut somebody down in a cipher and you was like, told you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of times.
Just
That happens a lot.
baffled
For a
a
guy like me,
non-believer?
that happens almost every single time, man. Nah.
Love it. So again, we're moving forward now. So we're involved with the culture. You know what I mean? We're banging out with South Brooklyn. We're touring. We're doing great, right?
Actually, coming back, it depends on the perspective if you're doing great or we did bad. You know what I'm
Got you.
saying? For me, if you did awesome, yo. For some, it's like, that's the fucking worst fucking trip I've ever fucking taken in my fucking life. I should have fucking just stood in.
So
you know what I'm saying?
let these young artists know what's the pain like? Like what's the touring
pain.
yourself and the pain? Let them
Right.
know.
So definitely painful on the finance expectations. Painful on the physical part. You know what I'm saying? Because I was driving till now. I get sleepy behind the wheel, and I'm affected by that trip, by the amount of Vivarin that I was fucking taking, driving that shit, falling asleep, like, oh shit.
Grinding.
shit. You know what I'm saying? Grinding. So, and the very first lesson was trying to cross to Toronto, cross the border. Our very first stop was Toronto, then Albany.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're gonna cross first and go back, because we're gonna go like that and then go to USA.
I'm surprised you didn't do Montreal.
Okay, so
Montreal's
listen to this
great city.
crazy lesson from the beginning. First lesson of the tour, I'm on the van. I'm super excited. It's 12 of us. It's heavy. It's, 12-person van full of vinyl and merch and all that. Going to Toronto first stop, mad excited. Right away, I get by Verrazano Bridge, I get caught for speeding. We ain't even left the fucking borough yet. But it was such a great lesson. The chill, calm down. It's a long trip.
Yeah.
Your thing was like, you wobbly. It's dangerous out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
First lesson.
Yeah.
So next lesson was the harsh lesson, the harshest, the most harsh. I crossed the border. And we didn't know the laws for customs that you're crossing, the taxes you need to pay, and all of that, and the percentages were
You're
crazy,
100%
right?
correct.
And we, like I said, it's our first stop, so nothing's sold yet. It's full of fucking merchandise. So we cross this shit, we go and we get stopped and say you gotta pay for taxes for all of those. And if you calculate, we was far from our calculations. We already starting with a major loss.
Like, it's not happening.
On the first stop, we knew we should have rented a hotel in upstate and put the vinyls there and close the hotel and cross there and then come back. You can't just mail tons, it's crazy pounds of vinyl. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they were going by amount and shit like that. We had to pay it to cross. And then the weed residue was scary. We had and then like the dogs had to go in.
How ironic, because now it seems like everything is easy peasy with the fucking bud. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I love that. We could get to that point.
Yeah, that's
in
everything
a
is
sec,
super
because that shit
easy
leads to hearing Mike Tyson. Just to let them know and get them excited. It ends with Mike Tyson for this particular exclamation point. So I move forward. What was that? Remind me?
We were basically
selling merch. So I've been selling merch since 1998, basically. So the merch game, when kids talk about it, is like some of them bore me, some of them excite me, but but I've been doing it for a long time. Basically, is how I'm still here doing it, right? You gotta have it. It's the way for you to get that gas, that food, that train
pop
fare.
out with the art yesterday.
I love it. That's the way.
Event.
You see how I am.
And by the way, listeners, my man Mike had a beautiful event in Bushwick.
Hey, yeah, bang bang.
The old Bushwick, where there's still graffiti everywhere. Stop playing. That's the beauty of it. I love talking to people in my genre, where I could say that old Brooklyn or that old New York, and Mike is definitely cut from that old New York.
I appreciate that.
So we're at a point where we're deciding as a person that we're gonna leave the States.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So how and this is major, right? Because I think anyone that's listening would say maybe they came to a point in their life where they say, moving wouldn't be bad. Maybe I'll go to Cali. They have a great underground rap scene there. Maybe I'll go to Seattle. Amazing underground hip hop scene there. Maybe I'll even go to Miami. You went what people would think is a little left, but in reality, you tuned into the culture.
Yeah, for sure.
So explain to the people.
So deciding to go back to the Philippines, it has to do with music, connected to music, you know what I'm saying? So I did a mixtape that had Tagalog songs, which is the language of Filipinos.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and I kind of questioned myself, like, I'm fighting for my country, but I don't know nothing about my country, I'm raised in Brooklyn.
That's a beautiful thing, bro.
I mean, I'm like, shit. But I speak the language.
Now, is it one dialect, flat out?
No. Philippines is the country that has the most dialects in their country. Something like that.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Really? Wow.
So much.
Wow.
So, but Tagalog is the main core, you know what I mean? Like, so, and my accent is from down the province. Like, like that, like I would be from here considered like suburb type accent as a Tagalog rapper coming in.
Wow.
that has a bad, like, you know it when Spanish people is in America for too long.
Well,
and
even
they
with
speak-
Spanish, you could tell the difference between, let's just say, a Colombian and a Dominican or a Puerto
Right,
Rican.
right.
That's probably what
off
caused a lot
rip.
of the friction too in your career because like people will they'll get a like, oh, why he don't even speak.
Well,
yeah.
You're threatening them.
I didn't make a mark with the music, but with my presence at the beginning, you know. And plus, I was able to rhyme in English. That's what differentiates
So
me
that's
with some of the folks in the
that's a
Philippines.
good transition because now my thing is, so now you decide mentally and spiritually, I'm ready to blast off and start this new beginning.
I love that you say that. Mentally, physically, I was ready to go,
Right.
but I was still not super, but I was still insecure about me lyrically.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I hit it. I was good with the what's the other one? Physically, mentally.
physically and
So
mentally, man.
I say,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, all right, I'm gonna have to put a little bit of shameless in this factor right here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Shamelessness. But let me learn my way up, like the rhyming part.
Mm-hmm.
Because I gotta master 2 languages. You know what I mean? So I'm
Absolutely.
new to the other language and I'm just learning how to rhyme in English. Really good, I guess.
But
you
now,
know what I'm saying?
hold
And-
on. Most
and
people
like, you
don't
know,
make the connection for us. Someone who's outside of the realm, make the connection. You get there, but who are you connected to in the sense of saying? Because most people can't fly back to their native tongue land
Mm-hmm.
and say, "I'm gonna start music." Most people just can't do that.
Yeah. So, but I learned from being a record label owner, allowed me to put a little strategy together to approach how to turn a product, turn an idea to a product that could be distributed through major means or independent means. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Brand.
learning that.
Mike Swift, the brand.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I
You
started
pretty
doing
much
that. Mike
hustling
Swift, the brand, MikeSwift.us. You know, I was going, who the fuck is this New Yorker with all this energy
Right.
in the Philippines, trying to bag all the hottest,
Now,
and
good-
trying to kill all the fucking.
We spoke about this at
stages
the
and
show, and I
ciphers.
said, "Bro, I'm sure you got a lot of fucking hate
Oh yeah, that
by just
resulted
trying to give off that Brooklyn swag out there." They're looking at you like, "Come on, get out of here with that."
I try to avoid it from the get. You know, I was more strategic about it because as a person, naturally, you know how we are. We from the beach, we partying, we
Right.
dancing house, we dancing
Right.
salsa.
Right.
We ciphering, we passing joints.
Of
we ain't,
course.
we ain't much into like if we needed to get, you know, I mean altercations happen for everyone when they're young.
Right.
So, but I went.
But we
through
was
a lot
always
of
on a
that.
different frequency
We was,
regardless.
but
Yeah.
I did that with my other,
Of
like my
course.
other side of like different crews.
Yeah,
And different,
yeah.
You know, but there's that hip hop vibe that no, we not part of that rah shit. Here,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But outside of it, I could say a million stories about being
Correct.
from this street and this
Correct.
street and that hood and that borough.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept my Tagalog thoughts, my life into Tagalog thoughts into music, into one day going to Queens, eating in a Filipino restaurant where I saw a poster of a hip hop concert. And I had my shit is finishing. Like the 2000 CDs I had pressed up for my first mixtape ever that had those Tagalog songs is almost ready, lining up with this concert. And I was like, it's perfect for me to, you know what I'm saying? And that's a Francis M concert, which is considered, Francis M is the king of rap in the Philippines. Like, he passed
What's his
away.
name?
Francis Magalona. He had a tour in America that stopped in New Jersey. You know what I mean?
I'll
So yeah, Francis M. He stopped major hit songs all over. He's like, you know what I mean? Almost like a Bob Marley kind of to us. Like that's his effect in Filipino music world. Like, you know, not just rap. Like that's how big he
Right.
is considered. So I went and I went to I made it a point that I get my music and my history of a Filipino with a label in America that did all that. And I think when he came through for his press con and the organizers introduced me as someone who has a label, and I brought all the vinyls, and then I bought a demo of my CD that was getting pressed, that is almost ready.
You were prepared.
prepared always. You know what I'm
Very
saying? I
prepared.
already was that late in the game. I already did the tours. I already was a
Prepared.
vinyl. I'm already hustling trees, and I'm hustling a little bit of extra
Yep.
of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, that's Anyway, so I was doing all that. I was built already. Having a barber shop. My chain is long. My fronts is there. My kicks is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My Mitchell and Ness is expensive.
Yep.
I'm with it. I'm a Brooklyn trying to get it in veteran. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I go with all that energy towards him, and he was so happy to meet someone like me in New York that was doing things like these that he didn't expect, that can say Tagalog words.
Someone
like I
saw
can.
value in what you was pitching.
Yeah, no, plus to have a Filipino to own a record label on vinyl
course.
in Fat Beats in America was a
Yeah.
dream for them. So the respect was there immediately, and the
Right.
brotherhood was there immediately. And then that's how I got my key, because he's the king. And then there's another person, which is Andrew E., which is like more, he's like a two, he's also on another plateau. He's like a
Andrew E.
television star. He's like a
star. He's a
movie
Sounds-
star.
I ain't gonna lie, when
He's
you
like
got
a
a
Two
name like
Live
that-
Crew kind of music. Two Live Crew
My
dirty,
guy. Shout
but
out
he,
to Live Crew.
yeah. So, but he
In the Philippines.
was a actor.
In the Philippines,
So those two you needed, and I got his attention as well. So basically, the time I was grinding in the streets hard, where I was still working in the scores at night, and then living in Marlboro with my Chino and Tony. We had arcades in there. We had fucking, you know what I'm saying? Got like 4 arcades.
Yo,
My
I
shit
love
a
when he was
big
in
giant
Marlboro. He
TV.
used to move.
Know what
He
I
used to
mean?
move in stealth.
Oh, until now I'm Ninja
Used to
Move.
move in
You know what I'm
stealth.
So yeah, I did that. Got all my shit together. Got my guap together. Invested in myself. Like I said, I left the energy of the label kind of went different ways, because everybody's not on that high level of,
Of course,
energy. They
of
had
course.
all fun other things that kept them busy. We still all do music till today. They were there yesterday, so it's
Yeah.
all fam till now, and it's
Right.
all music and love till now. But during those times, and when I decided to kind of go a different route, I was like, at that time I was wriggling really hard, and I remember just getting shaken up by getting pulled over and getting searched, and these coming to the crib, and they like something like these guys look like they're on to me, and it seemed like the perfect time for me to dip out and then answer to the invites of the guys that I met, Francis M, and say try the Philippines one day.
You took the blessing. You took that warning and you took the blessing. It was like, I'm out.
Out. And I took my WAP together, and I said I'm gonna pay for the condo for a year. Even though I'm allowed to be there only 6 months, I'm only allowed to be in the country 6 months because I was still on temporary resident alien card, not even a permanent green card yet, a temporary one, right? So I have 6 months before I have to come back to New York right away, and I have no. I was just gonna grind and test the waters and get away from the hot.
course.
You know what I'm saying? So
Of course.
I go there, I say, yo, I'm here, and then my New York energy is fast, strong right there. I'm feeling myself with what I got, who I know, and I got, and
Yeah, man. You went there with the right energy.
what I learned from the tour was important, because now I gotta be on stage. I'm a rapper from New York, and I'm being introduced by the big guys, and they're all vouching for me. You better show and prove.
Sound like they were passing.
That, yeah, kind of, sort of. That torch gets passed.
I don't know.
When someone, like you said, when someone co-signs you, crazy.
He did. 44 years old, he passed. But so it was cool that it's like, imagine you go into America and you're getting vouched, and imagine you're a rapper in Nigeria and you got vouched by Jay-Z and Kanye. Right away, it gets picked up here. In my position, from here going to there as a rapper, it's like these guys, I'm vouched by the 2 top dudes doing it in the game. You know what I
Yo,
mean?
that would put the battery in my back.
And that's what it did, and I showed up, and I showed out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course.
So
That's a fact.
all the years of showing out and making friends, because I just wanted to make friends and not enemies. So um, it leads to, you said, yeah, you get into beef. So I got into it. I had to relive what I've learned as a Brighton Beach OG, get it in veteran, what I learned from them that I had to live. I had to bring it over there and be a kid again and be like, oh shit, I got to thump again.
I gotta
This
lay
shit
it
got to
down.
get physical again because
Right.
they don't believe that I did that before. And for me to get it, that's how shallow it was. But it is what it is. You want your career, you want
Yup,
your thing. It's
yup.
part of the element. It's part of the it's part of the variable that you must have for you to attain what you need. So I fuck it. I'm like, yeah, I got nothing to lose,
I'm all
man.
in.
This is for Oscar.
Right.
This is for Gaga. This is for Marcus. This is for
Yup.
this is for Juan.
Yup.
This is for all my lost loved ones. They didn't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
have a chance to get there. So it ain't nothing to me, these kind of things. You know what I mean? Like, so I went there with that energy and then I thumped out. I showed out on that end too. And then
Yep.
and then the all that energy was like, you know, trying to get a record label deal there was like, okay, it's hard, but it's not the best accomplishment that I would want out of this thing. It's not what I'm really chasing for. I just want a little and a lot of clout over here. So when I get it back to Brooklyn, I got something to say. You know, something different. Because I see the formula seems to be like, you got to take over a borough to be Nas. You got to take over Brooklyn to be Biggie. You got to take over fucking...
I hear you.
you know what I'm saying? You're a Harlem,
way-
you better
way-
be
way
part
too
of the
competitive.
Dipset way.
Way too
so I'm like, where
competitive.
do I fit in here as a damn Asian, as a Filipino rapper? So maybe part of why I was fucking
Right.
trying to, you know, do my thing, and I got my, you know, my thing is like, you know what? What's the trophy here? The big chain? I got it. Take this trophy too. Fuck it, man. I'm little, and I look like an easy target,
But I get it in.
yeah,
know
I'm
what I
fast
mean?
and I see rocks and I got good aim.
But I get it
and I
in.
can run fast and I can dodge. And in that little compartment there,
Yeah, yeah.
there's something that I don't need to be close to you to fucking hurt you. I mean, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
man.
That as a young roadie,
Yeah.
you go through that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's not what I want to promote. It's what I
No, but
glorify.
you're
It's
there.
what I went through.
You lay it down.
Yeah.
Right?
So
So
I go through all of that.
No,
go through all
I was
that.
gonna ask you. So
And
at
all
what
that
point
G
did you
shit
know?
lit.
Did you know? You're like, I'm not going back. I got it. I cracked the code. I'm not going back. I'm here. I think I was meant to be here, and I have a niche.
Because people were enjoying my shows.
Facts.
They were enjoying my shows, and I saw it, and I was like, you know, everybody wanted to, you know, I was doing good. I was like all my dream
you were
people,
pumping out
celebrities,
content.
and
Yeah,
all
man.
the dream celebrities in the Philippines. I was meeting them.
Celebrities, rap, all the celebrities.
Yeah.
Knew Mike Sweat.
Yeah,
they still
I did because I got it in the club, and shouts to AL. I learned that club shit through AL and meeting the bouncers and getting cool with, and you know what I'm saying, just being around the major players in the club industry got me doing that over
No
there.
doubt. No
and I
doubt.
mean, I did my shares of that myself, like coming from Brighton. Like that's how we bump heads, cause
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
were always around.
Yeah.
We traveled out
Yeah.
of the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
So I took that energy and all that G shit got. All of a sudden, one year I get a call from. I'm going back and forth now, New
no,
York,
yeah, yeah.
because I go to Brooklyn. My boys would not believe that I did television in the Philippines. Come on, I did TV. I'm in the newspaper. I bagged the hottest in the gang. You know what I'm saying? I'm just bragging about things.
What was the first year you touched ground? When you-
2004.
in 2004.
So I come back to Brighton, and
You were
nobody
doing a lot of
believed.
Video stuff too.
Yeah, but no, that's what I'm gonna get to. Nobody believed. That's where I started really getting it in with the video, and I really like doing videos. People know me from doing a lot of videos growing up. So what I did was like, you know what? I'm gonna record what's going on right now before I go back to the Philippines. I'm gonna record my grind here, and then when I go back to the Philippines, I'm gonna show the Philippines what I'm doing in New York, and when I go back to New York, I'm gonna show what I'm doing in the Philippines. And I went back and forth for a while. You know what I'm saying? Landed me to Suge Knight. Suge Knight With Suge Knight. Suge Knight. The one with Tupac. The one from Death Row.
That's Suge Knight.
That Suge Knight wants to record with Mike Swift. That's, you know what I mean? So I got that message and I'm like, what? Get the fuck out of here. Come on, man. I mean, I'm used to miracles, but not as big as this.
Legend.
So I get a call. Now I'm in LA and I'm still, you know, it's still a surprising thing that I'm recording with Suge Knight, and let alone I'm in the studio. Suge Knight is here. He's listening to 2 of the songs that I recorded prior. You know, and I'm like I said, I'm just learning how to rap. That's 2006. So
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh shit.
Timestamp.
And they used to Tupac writing 6 songs a day, doing that. I don't know what they're expecting out of me, but I'm there. Out of all the magic and all the wiggle that I did, I was there as a Filipino rapper. They found the Brooklyn shit after, way later, I think. Because I was kind of trying to incognito, being like, yeah, I'm a rapper that y'all discovered there, but I'm really a Brooklyn motherfucker who fucking grinded
But
over
bro, how do you? That's major for any average dude.
exactly, that's what
so
I'm
the
trying to
fact that you could
spread
bring it
now in a
out
way.
there, it's like, listen, cut it out. I put the work in.
Yeah, but I think back in my country, it wasn't embraced that way. It wasn't promoted. It wasn't. It's like the saying that when you reach something big, they don't acknowledge it or they whisper it really low. Oh, he recorded with Suge Knight. Oh, that motherfucker did this. You know what I'm saying? They'll just enlarge the whack shit that you do, but they'll
Right.
whisper the greatest fucking accomplishment
Right.
you make, and that's what I felt when I got back to the country, coming home from that. But the best thing I ever did is I had courage to turn the camera on when I wasn't allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And that was more important to me than all the songs that I recorded, even though I had some hot verses in those recordings, and I recorded 9 songs, and I never put them out yet. And I have 7 of those 9 songs were mine. 2 was from London Baby, who they flew also from the Philippines at that time. I don't want to tell the long story why they picked me to be flown over there, but when I got there, I did a song with Danny Boy, who sang "I Ain't Mad at Y'all" for Tupac.
Yup.
I ain't mad at ya.
The classic
I ain't
voice.
mad. So I got a song with him I never released. But all those things,
You got a song with Danny Boy?
yes, sir.
Did Danny Boy pass? Or no? He's
No,
right?
I don't think
Oh.
so. I don't think so, because I saw something that he did something with Mary J. Blige.
Oh, okay. Want to make sure.
I don't know. I don't want to start some
But
shit.
yo, that's major.
Yeah. So,
That's big.
uh,
Sitting on volts. You're
yeah,
sitting on bangers.
so yeah, you know, all the things. Imagine being a week and a half around that, not just like, oh, let me get a picture with Suge and take a picture. Oh, I chilled with him, and one day I got a picture. And nah, man, I got videos of me chilling with him in various locations. You see in some videos, you see some of his biggest bodyguards, like,
But wouldn't that I would
I'm
think
like,
that validates you.
of course, because
Gotta validate you.
nobody would believe me if I said I got flown by Suge Knight to record.
Right.
Petey Pablo came in to check for me.
Right.
He had a few of the writers to kind of help me with hooks over there, just to get the vibe out. You know what I'm saying? I had the whole fam going over there. I was experiencing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I wasn't gonna be a death row artist. It was the row at that time already.
It was the road.
Yeah, so I wasn't gonna be, because, you know, it was struggling times for Suge already, and all these artists were not in the forefront of things. Me, I just want the story. You know what I'm saying? I just want the story. And I turned my video camera on, and yeah, exactly. So I was like, that's important. And and honestly, there was talks of having a Tupac verse in one of my songs, and it was because but my thing was, I got there and I was telling the people that were handling these things that, look, think it over. I know I regret that my decision back then was to push it, not for that to happen. I'm proud of the decision not to go for. It's like they got a guap out for a kind of Tupac verse. The people that was
Right.
involved with the situation. I'm just there with $30 in my pocket, and when they asked what I needed, I said, "Let me get a Alizé and let me get some good trees."
Facts.
I was fucked up, dog. I'm in the Philippines. We didn't got trees like that, like they have in Cali, right? So I'm there 2-3 days, fresh off the airport. I'm
Right.
in the studio, and what they asked what I want, and told him that. And
Alizé. Yeah.
exactly. So like it's ill. I had conversations with Suge Knight and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was going like
That's so dope,
having
bro. That's so dope.
having breakfast at Denny's and at dawn at the club. You know, I seen him smack some kid that was fanning over him
Fuck.
and was happy after getting smacked by Suge Knight.
Legendary.
You know what I mean?
I'm like, yo, fam, I seen it go
But
down.
you know, all that shit. The only thing I was worried about is how I'm gonna get people to believe that this shit is real. I turned my camera on, man, and until this day, I got all of that. It's in YouTube and all of that. So when I did that, I knew I was gonna come home with a victory. I couldn't wait to go back to the Philippines. That's like, no, don't put the money on getting a Tupac verse because I never met the man. I wish I did it with him in the studio. And he met me, but you're gonna put all the money, and the reason why y'all
Monumental, bro. The fact that you could even say that
I
is
know,
monumental,
and it's
bro.
stupid, right? A lot of people were like, "You're dumb as
Yo,
fuck,"
how
but
many
it
people
is.
could
It
really
is dumb,
say
though.
that, man?
But listen,
Not many
peep
people.
game though. Peep game why?
many.
Peep game why though? You know what I'm saying? So because I got there on the strength that there's a label that invested a little bit of money on me, that little money I turned to fucking gold. I was in MTV. I had 2 music videos off the budget that they gave me. Meanwhile, the million budget that they gave a different band, they spent it and it didn't go nowhere.
You're
know what I'm
playing
saying?
smart
Like-
with your money.
So yeah.
Yep.
So to me, the money, is like, the money, you know what? Just give me the money you're gonna spend on this, and I'm gonna kill it.
That's a
You
major,
know what I mean?
major,
So I was
major,
like, you know,
major
I
accomplishment.
find the way, and my thing is, I like recording in studios with the people you want to. I don't
Yeah.
like paying for a verse because you want to be affiliated to an MC or a rapper that's popular. He wasn't there. I wish
Right,
but you know,
right.
my spirit is saying I need that budget I could help a lot of people with that, sir. That's like fucking film production. That's fucking things, and a lot of people could eat instead
Yeah.
of that. And to me, it's like, don't go that route, kind of like
Right.
thing. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
and let alone it didn't. You know, it came back to me. So long story short, I did that with Suge Knight, and from the Suge Knight, I go back to being the MC rapper, struggling. Learn the DVD game, shirt game, notebook.
Notice
merch.
how he says struggling.
Right, and then I did a rap battle league. From the money we made from the DVDs, it turned to a film investment that never continued. That became a rap battle league called
Dope.
Sunugan. That's number 8 in the world today.
Fire.
So we still own that right now. Shouts to
Fire.
Looney and Jahan, who's running it mainly.
Alright, salute.
So
Salute.
that's Sunugan, and all that led to me doing Araneta Coliseum, which is where Frazier and Ali fought,
Mm-hmm.
and then from doing that, I went broke.
Did the Coliseum. That's major,
2013.
bro.
That's where Ali Frazier
major,
and
bro.
yeah,
That's major.
Thriller in Manila. So Looney versus Disaster, Batas versus Sway Sevo. I brought some cats in from. So I did that. I failed miserably financially, but we made history, which was so awesome. So I carried that with me, and being broke for so long can humble you so much that my energy went to different art, taking pictures. It became Pinoy Hoops Instagram, got discovered by Nike. All that energy led me to the tenement, back to the tenement, saved the building that they say that I helped the building and so
Right.
many lives, and I gave out sneakers and
give the people a little depth, because I think a lot of artists coming from that conscious rap, coming from a place that I come from, coming from the projects, I've always been a fan of people not only give back, but are more about the people, right? So whether you're donating your time, whether it be food, I always felt that once you start making a certain amount of money in a certain place, or if you have a certain amount of knowledge, you need to give that back to the people. You know what I mean? Because if I went to PR tomorrow, or if I was from some other Caribbean island and I went there, you better pay homage to the hood, salute the generals in the hood, but give back to the people, man. You know?
so all that give back gave good energy that brought people in, that stopped big things from happening to a certain building that could have been already people were getting evicted and all that. So their livelihood continued. And through this basketball programs I created, I got LeBron James' attention.
Right.
And then I got a project with Nike and LeBron. I did 1 year so far. I got
Give
a
the
3-year
listeners a
project.
little depth when you say building, and kind of explain people what you did, and give a little light to that, a little depth.
Okay, basically, I found the building that was that I enjoyed playing basketball at, that looked like Coney Island projects
Right.
of some sort, or Marlboro,
Right,
for
right.
instance, right? And
Kind of like a Section 8.
and I
kinda
found that it
area.
was a cool place to play ball, smoke trees on the sideline a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. The people were so cool, and they were it's like, you know, they had bad reputation outside, but inside it was like the best people in the world.
Right.
So I kind of helped express that, and through that, I made a dent. And now the tenement is in PlayStation. It has its own sneaker colorway. LeBron, Paul George, Jordan Clarkson. It's a Netflix, HBO.
So
Yeah,
he
Kobe
pretty
and
much has
Gianna.
refurbished the area. So
In a way, yeah.
So I mean, I think it's amazing, because I think it's like a blueprint for other people to do, even if you're taking out the monetary and the money aspect of it. I think if more people took the insight of refurbishing their area,
Yeah, it's
just
contagious.
Society would be just so much better. you
Right.
know?
And I looked at it as that. I said,
Right.
you know what? If I could help change this building from they consider trashy to golden,
Mm-hmm.
that means our country has a chance to change too. You know what I
Facts.
mean? I just got to focus
Facts.
here, because I
Facts.
can't change that. Everybody's too crazy out there.
I agree with you, brother.
So I
agree.
start from there, and I thought I was helping there, and I could see it. Okay, so after that, gaining the respect of the people there, and then one event happened where Kobe passed away. Rest in peace. You know what I mean? What a loss for the world, Kobe and Gianna. And we
Absolutely.
and
R.I.P.
you know,
The
and
legend,
of
the
course, and all 9 passengers of that tragic moment. So when we heard that news, we did a painting of the tenements. I was kind of known for painting courts and hooking them up. And I got a deal with Nippon Paint, the biggest paint in Japan, in Asia, to paint
What is it
1,000
called?
courts. Nippon Paint.
Shout 'em
So
out.
yeah, shouts to Nippon Paint. Every court can dream. 1,000 courts we're painting with them, right?
Right.
I'm up to 130 now, and that's
Wow.
continuous.
Wow.
I got a Hennessy project in October for 3 years, painting, help them refurbish. I'm not supposed to say it, but whatever, you know. It's
I
for the
got
goody
you, I
goody.
got
It's
you.
about
No,
it to
I
be
got
out
you.
there.
I got you.
So
So that's actually a great segue, because we're gonna start wrapping it up. But I want you to give a good breakdown for the people of what we're working on, what we got coming up, how they can find you, how they could build with you, how they could collaborate.
bet. So they could find all these stories at Pinoy Hoops Instagram, and that's PINOYHOOPS. And I am Mike Swift, IAMMIKESWIFT, and they'll see me right now doing my Iron Mike USA tour,
Right.
which is promoting an album called Iron Mike that's out in all digital platforms.
So he has a new album out now. He's out here in the States promoting it hard. Different areas, rocking out, different shows. Definitely taking the independent route that I personally feel most and all artists should. He's definitely taking the power back as an artist. He's also an activist, also a friend. It's good to have you up here, brother. Glad you came up.
Thank you for having me.
Classic
That was
interview.
fast, right? See, yeah.
Classic. It always goes fast,
you.
brother. It
Right,
always
so
goes
fast.
fast, you know?
So much more left, right?
You know?
They
So-
didn't hear the Spike Lee story today, how I met him. They didn't hear, they didn't hear Mike Tyson next week. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? But it's
He
all
got
love.
it.
I
He
love
got it. But listen.
And the Notorious, how I made it in the Biggie movie. I ain't even. I always
Look at that.
forget.
He's dropping
I'm in the
gems,
Biggie
dropping
movie,
gems.
Like, I keep forgetting. The
Listen,
people don't
tune
know.
in. He has a lot of content out. He's busy. He's doing it. We wish him nothing but blessings. Tune in, support. All right? It's the one and only Mike Swift. Thank you, brother.
Baby, you're the hood.
Screaming, cheers to the real. Good vibes only. Putting it